It's time for an Ask Hoggy. I'm looking forward to your questions. The IPL starts tomorrow, and there's some exciting questions coming our way. But before we get into the questions, I want to have a quick chat about MS Dhoni. Is he the best captain that the IPL has ever seen? Rohit Sharma with the Mumbai Indians has won 5 titles. MS Dhoni has won 4 titles as captain. Does that mean that Rohit Sharma is the better captain? No, it doesn't. I'll tell you why. Because it's the win percentage over your whole career as captain that's more important. Because we need consistency within our teams. If you have that consistency, you've got better chance of success out the back end. And MS Dhoni has had that. MS Dhoni has captained 204 games out of 60-odd% win ratio. Well, it's a 61% win ratio for the Chennai Super Kings, where he's captained 190 games. You're not going to get better than that. No one's going to beat that record, captaining more than 100 games. So MS Dhoni is the best captain going around. Right. Rowan Rioli, how you going, mate? Yes. How do you see Dhoni's role in CSK as a player now that he has stepped down from the captaincy? It's disappointing that he stepped down from the captaincy. Just wanted him to finish 1 year as the leader of CSK and get that other title and match Rohit Sharma. But full credit to him. He's looking at what's best for the franchise moving forward, and that is to give the leadership role to someone else while he's still behind the stumps and can mentor that particular player. And it's Jadeja that's going to take over. So for me, Dhoni is just going to be the keeper that we've all seen and come in and bat out 6 and 7. He might come in as a pinch hitter now that Jadeja is the captain, so you can vary his role as a batsman depending on the situation. So when spin's on, I expect MS Dhoni to come out and try and hit spin out of the park, left, right and centre, because he's very good at doing that. But mainly it is to help Jadeja become a good captain, give him the skills of leadership. Because a lesson for all you people out there that are going into business, you need mentors to teach you the art of leadership. You might be good at your job, but when it comes to a leadership role, you've got to have those people skills and you've got to have good dynamics of what it takes to be a leader. So you need a good mentor in that department. And CSK are going to be better for MS Dhoni giving up the captaincy and giving it to Jadeja for the long-term future. I know we don't want to see that happen, but it has to come at some stage. So the writing was always on the wall, and it's happened now. But well done to MS Dhoni for a great captaincy role there. Which 2 teams do you think will finish out the bottom of the table this season, and why? This is from John Lark. Now, Johnny Lark is a good follower of the IPL. Now, I reckon the Punjab Kings are going to be out the bottom of the ladder. They're depleted in spin and their middle order has holes. I also think the Sunrisers are going to be down the bottom as well. I don't think they have enough depth in their Indian bowling department and Indian batters, so they won't be able to really jumble their team around. They'll rely heavily on the overseas batters and the local Indian bowlers, and if you have an injury, it's curtains for Sunrisers Hyderabad. They won't be able to play or bowl their overseas or utilise their overseas bowlers. That's why I think they'll be down the bottom of the list. And I'm going to go with Gujarat Lions as well. The Titans. Gujarat Lions were many moons ago. It's the Titans now, Hoggy. Get it right. I think their top order power without Roy there is going to be diminished. And also, they've got a young captain in Hardik Pandya. Look, I love the way he goes about it. I love his energy. He's a leader in his own right, but can he control his enthusiasm in those tight moments? That would be the big question. And the other thing with the Gujarat Lions is they've got a young coach in Ashish Nehra, and when he was at RCB as a bowling coach, he was always on the sideline trying to tell players what to do. You've got to leave that to the captain out in the middle. And you just, the only time you really talk to your players is in team meetings, and just let the players go out there involved. Yes, he's got Gary Kirsten there, the experienced coach, to help him out. But I just think that young dynamic in the leadership group is going to play havoc for Gujarat Titans, and that's why they're going to be down the bottom of the ladder. That's a very good question then. No, look, Johnny Lark, there's a little bit of negativity in that comment. So here we go. I think who are the top 2 teams? That would have been a better question. Now it's time for the next question. It's Pawan Bojan. How are you going, Pawan? Thanks very much for joining us on Hogg's vlog. And how will the pitches behave given the fact that all league matches are played across 4 grounds is your question. And will it help the spinners or will it be a batting paradise? Now, you've got a little bit of cricket knowledge, Pawan, don't you? There is going to be a lot of wear and tear in these wickets throughout the IPL. It's going to be hard for the curators to keep the wickets at a high standard because they're going to be limited on how much water they can get onto the centre wicket block because if they've got a match on, they don't want to overwater that square because then the players will start slipping and it might create a huge chance of injury. So they've got to be careful in that regard. And then the outfielder as well, they've got to keep it nice and green and lush so it's good for the viewer at home, but it's also good quality comfort for the player when they're playing. So for me, I think with the amount of cricket that's been played, the wickets are going to turn a lot more in the back end. And those teams that have got good quality spinners and fast bowlers that have got good deceptive slower balls are going to be the teams that are going to win this IPL in 2022. Fakhri Azam of Burkistan. I hope I've got that right, fucker. Do you think the IPL should allow 5 overseas players in their teams? Now, fucker, I totally agree with you. This is a very good question. So I've got some stats here, okay? If you can get these up, please, Shabs. If we look at it, there were 56 Indian players playing in previous IPLs where you only had 8 teams. But now that we've gone up to 10 teams, we've got 70 Indian players playing in the IPL. So that's an extra 14 players. Is the Indian depth good enough for high quality cricket at an international level to participate in the IPL? I think we're pushing the boundaries here. So I think we should go to 5 overseas players per team. It will strengthen up the lineups, give more opportunity to the overseas players, but there's still 4 more positions for local Indian players to participate in this year's IPL. So you've got an increase in Indian players, but you've also got an increase in the better spectacle because you've got more overseas players. So franchises can utilise their stocks a lot better and get better value for the money that is spent on those overseas players. So the BCCI, they might take a look at that halfway through the season and say, right, guys, it's open slather. You can get 5 overseas players in your list. And by the way, that's a really good question. What about you? Get your comments down after the vlog about how many overseas players should be allowed to play in each IPL team. Righty-o, the best captains in this season of the IPL. Well, I think Faf du Plessis is a good choice for RCB. I think he's got the good credentials to take over from Virat Kohli there. He's got such vast experience with his captaincy with South Africa, and that knowledge will help that particular lineup. And he's a calm, collect player, so he keeps a cool mind. And also, he's had a lot of experience with MS Dhoni and seeing how he goes about it in IPL cricket. So got to utilise that knowledge when you've got it. So that's the best resource for RCB. And Aya at KKR. I'm going to be very interested following his captaincy role there. I think this is a good pick for KKR. He's had a little bit of experience with Delhi Capitals. He didn't get the role last year after being injured. They left it to Pant. And I just think that little bit of time away from the captaincy, then going back and playing under someone else's captaincy is going to do him a world of good. And I think KKR are going to be better for that. And I think Aya is going to do a wonderful job. And his leadership is going to take KKR to the top 4 at the end of the year. And there's one more little thing that I want to say about the captaincy. Rohit Sharma is going to be tested this year with the Mumbai Indians because he doesn't have that dominant middle order that he's had in previous years. And the bowling stocks are a little bit more depleted than what they are because we've gone to 10 teams and it was quite difficult to get those stocks up to have a quality front or first 11 in your team. So how's Rohit Sharma going to react this year? That is something that I am going to be wanting to watch with the Mumbai Indians moving forward, because they've been a dominant force over the last 5-6 years. But now they're going to be tested with their stocks. And that was from Shazwat Gupta. Thanks very much for that question. Looking at the captains, I love that. Now let's go to the final question. It's from Vijay Gomes. Who could be the most impressive youngster in this year's IPL? Well, I'm going for the fast bowler from Sunrisers Hyderabad at the start. I said that they're going to be down in the bottom 3 of this year's IPL, but there's one player that can move them up the ladder, and that's their fast bowler in Malik. Now, they made sure they kept him before the auction this year. They gave him a full-time contract. He was one of the 3 that they kept on their list. He's got pace. He's got bounce. He's got charisma. I love the way that he goes about it, and I think he can terrorise a lot of batsmen in this IPL. And if he stands up, Sunrisers Hyderabad could prove me wrong about being down the bottom of the ladder. So watch out for young Malik, and also Garkawad from CSK. Now that he doesn't have Faf du Plessis out the other end, helping him power away in that opening position, there's going to be a lot more pressure on this youngster. He's got the experience now, but can he take what he's learnt over the past couple of years, or last year when he was batting with Faf du Plessis, and turn it into something massive as himself, as an individual, to lead this batting lineup of CSK. So those are the 2 that I'm looking forward to seeing this year with their development. Righty-o, guys. That's the end of the that's the end of the vlog today. I was just putting my glasses on just to see if there's another question, but I think we've covered a lot. So MS Dhoni, that's one of the questions that we're going to have. Is he the best captain that the IPL has ever seen? I know there might be a few Rohit Sharma followers out there that might disagree with me, and you're well and truly in your right to have your opinion. And that's what I love about this. We can have a little bit of banter in the write-ups there. And the other question that I said earlier, should we have 5 players available, or 5 overseas players available in each team, each lineup in the first 11? Get comments downstairs. Hey guys, the IPL's starting today. It's CSK versus KKR. I don't know who to go for. It's experience against youth. 2 new captains. Iyer for KKR, Jadeja for CSK. Iyer's had a bit more experience. I'm going to have to go for my franchise, KKR. Okay, I've played for them. All right, so I've got to back the old purple. But good luck today, and hope your team wins. Thanks, guys. Enjoy yourselves.